Welcome to the deep dive. You've brought the sources, and today we're really digging into a massive shift happening in enterprise IT. It's all about the changing role, the elevation, really, of the integration specialists.
That's right.
If you're listening, you're likely that person. You know, the one who builds the digital backbone, someone who thrives on order, predictability, crafting those reliable pipelines for APIs, B2B transactions.
Yeah, exactly. You're the architect of that digital core.
Yeah.
Your work, traditionally, it's been about managing that predictable flow, usually structured data, right? Making sure System A talks reliably to System B.
Keeping the lights on.
Pretty much. You're kind of the unsung hero, the one who built the bedrock the business relies on.
Okay, but here's the tension, isn't it? AI is sort of blowing this wide open because while your structured systems, they're humming along perfectly, there's this whole other universe of information. The stuff that really drives decisions that's just, well, stuck, out of reach for automation.
It's like this black hole of enterprise data. We're talking about really game-changing stuff buried in emails or locked inside, complex PDFs, scanned invoices, contracts.
Yeah, the messy stuff.
Exactly. That's where the real business action often happens. And until now, it's been largely untouchable by the systems you manage.
So the mission for this deep dive is to unpack how AI changes your value proposition, fundamentally. How you move from being, let's say, a master of fixed pipelines, a systems expert,
Right.
to becoming more of a business architect, someone who orchestrates outcomes. Okay, so let's unpack this. Maybe start with the world we're kind of leaving behind.
Yeah, we absolutely have to start there. Define the constraints we've been working under. Traditional middleware, which is, the foundation of all this, it was built on really rigid principles.
Structure was key.
Structure was everything. It absolutely required structure. That's the box we've all been operating in for, well, decades.
And it was a necessary box, let's be fair. I mean, the big advantage of traditional integration is that rock-solid reliability.
Yes.
It needs clean data, right? Like from a database, a well-defined API.
Yeah.
And you need those fixed rules for mapping, transformation. You set it up once.
And it just runs, hopefully for years.
Yeah, perfectly. But that's also the limitation, isn't it?
That repetition is its strength and its critical weakness. Look, that system is secure, it's stable, it's essential. But the second a process needs context or interpretation, maybe some human judgment.
Or the data just doesn't fit the schema.
Exactly. If it doesn't fit that predefined box, the whole automated process just stops, grinds to a halt.
And then someone has to step in manually, which is slow, expensive.
And error-prone, hugely error-prone. Someone has to open that PDF, find the number, type it into the ERP.
That's the friction. That's the hidden cost the business is dealing with all the time.
Precisely. And that's why putting AI, real AI, into the core integration layer, it isn't just an upgrade. It's a total paradigm shift.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting then. Because AI seems to just shatter the walls of that old integration box. How? Well, it seems to give your integration platform two completely new capabilities, things it just couldn't do before.
That's right. The first crucial new ability is making intelligent sense of all that unstructured data we mentioned, the messy stuff.
Stuff that used to be just noise, right?
Exactly. It was just noise or, worse, an obstacle. Now with AI, it's potential treasure.
Okay, let's make that concrete. What does it actually mean for a platform to make sense of, say, a contract locked in a PDF?
Well, it's way beyond just basic character recognition, OCR. We're talking about understanding the context, the semantics of the document. Think intelligent document processing, IDP.
IDP, okay.
Yeah. IDP uses machine learning to not just see the text, but to grasp the document's structure and meaning. So it can find the specific liability clause you care about, or the start date, the agreed price, pull it right out of a scanned contract someone attached to an email.
And then act on it.
And then immediately act on it. Trigger the next step in the workflow. It basically eliminates that whole chunk of manual data entry and the errors that come with it.
Wow. Okay, so you're essentially wiping out a whole category of headaches, especially around things like sales cycles, compliance, where documents are king.
It's a fundamental shift in control, absolutely. And the second ability builds right on top of this. Orchestrating dynamic processes.
Dynamic processes, so not fixed paths.
Exactly. If traditional integration assumed every workflow had to be rigidly defined, step A, then step B, then C, always the same, AI integration allows the workflow itself to adapt, to change based on the information it receives.
Okay, give us an example. What does that look like in practice, a dynamic process?
Sure. Let's imagine a procurement request comes in through some portal and attaches a PDF, the statement of work. Traditionally, maybe that request always goes to Manager X for approval. Takes 24 hours, no matter what.
Standard procedure.
Right. But with dynamic orchestration, the AI reads that attached PDF, that messy, unstructured data sees the dollar value is, say, over $50,000.
Ah,
And it recognizes, okay, this needs faster attention. So it automatically routes it past Manager X directly to maybe a VP in finance for expedited approval.
So it's not just following rules blindly, it's making a decision based on context it pulled from a document that was previously unreadable by the system?
Exactly, it's adaptive.
And you just bypassed potentially days of delay on a significant expense just by reading intelligently.
Precisely. You're moving from just rigid automation, which is mostly about speed and repetition, to intelligent orchestration. And that's about achieving the best business outcome dynamically.
And the key here is that you, the listener, the integration specialist, you manage that platform. You understand the old limits. So you're perfectly placed to lead this change.
Absolutely. You are in the driver's seat for this transformation, no question.
Okay, this is a big strategic pivot then. Because you're used to focusing on, endpoints, connectivity, system A to system B. Now the job description feels broader. We've kind of distilled this path forward into a 3-point roadmap. Let's start with point 1, the mindset shift.
Point 1, you have to look beyond endpoints and audit the real process. Shift your focus. It's not just about connecting system X to system Y anymore. You're already great at that. It's about understanding how the business actually gets work done.
Where the friction is.
Especially where those human bottlenecks pop up, because someone has to manually handle data or read a document.
But that means getting out of the IT comfort zone, right? How do you, the specialist, actually start that audit? It sounds political, maybe?
It doesn't have to be. Start simple. Take actionable steps. Literally, grab coffee with people in finance or logistics, maybe compliance. Don't grill them about their APIs.
Yeah.
Ask them, what's the most frustrating, time-consuming, document-heavy part of your day? Trust me, they will have answers. They'll tell you about the pain points that slow everything down.
So you're looking for things like slow invoice approvals, or manually sorting customer emails with attachments, or that awful onboarding process that needs 6 different scans.
Exactly those things, those points of friction. They're no longer just annoyances. They are now prime opportunities for high-value, AI-powered automation.
And when you solve those problems, you're not just managing IT costs. You're actually unlocking revenue, speeding things up.
Which leads directly to point 2.
Yeah.
Build a strategy for the messy data. You probably have a great strategy for your structured data, the stuff in databases, ERPs. Solid, reliable. Now you need an equally robust plan for that other 80% of the company's information. All that unstructured content, emails, PDFs, Word docs, images.
And this is where the identity shift happens, right? You stop being maybe seen as just a cost center focused on efficiency.
Yeah.
And you start becoming a revenue enabler because you're unlocking business intelligence that was previously trapped.
Absolutely. And tactically, this means you start mapping out how to bring intelligent document processing, that IDP capability, directly into your existing integration flows and patterns.
So treat a PDF like an API call almost.
In a way, yes. You have to acknowledge that these documents, these emails, they are now first-class data sources. They need to be managed, routed, transformed, analyzed, just like structured data.
Okay, because if you start solving these high-value business problems using data that nobody else can even touch systematically, your value to the organization just skyrockets.
It really does. It's the difference between asking for budget to maintain the pipes versus asking for budget to, say, cut 3 days off the sales cycle. Big difference.
Huge. Okay, so that leads us to the tech strategy. Point 3. Demand more from your integration platform, Unified Tools.
Right. This is about the how.
And this feels like a practical minefield because every vendor out there is slapping AI onto their marketing. But isn't the risk that many are just, bolting on some separate AI tool, creating another silo?
That is the critical trap you have to avoid. If it's just bolted on a separate tool, it defeats the whole purpose. It adds complexity, another thing to manage, latency. It's not truly integrated.
So you, the specialist, need to push back, demand proof that the AI capability is native. Right?
Absolutely. Native capability.
What does that look like? How do you spot truly integrated AI versus something just tacked on?
You need to look for a genuinely unified integration platform, an IPAS or maybe a broader integration suite where AI orchestration is treated as a core native function, not an afterthought.
Okay.
You should be looking for a single environment. One place that seamlessly handles your traditional API management, your complex B2B integration, and this new intelligent AI orchestration.
Hmm.
Ideally, the AI models themselves should be trainable, deployable, manageable right within that same workflow environment you already use.
So if you find yourself having to jump between three different web portals, one for APIs, one for EDI, and a third one for document AI stuff, that's a red flag.
That's a huge red flag. That fails the unified platform test. The goal has to be managing all your data flows, structured, unstructured, fixed, dynamic, from one single pane of glass. That's the ideal.
Okay, so wrapping this up, when you make these three moves, audit the real business processes, develop a strategy for that messy data, and really push for that unified, intelligent platform, that's the transformation.
That's it. You complete this shift from being purely a systems expert to becoming a true business architect.
You're not just managing the pipes between points A and B anymore?
No, you're designing and deploying intelligent, automated solutions that solve the actual problems the business has been struggling with for years. Problems that directly impact real-world outcomes. Suddenly, you're one of the most valuable people in the room when people talk digital modernization.
And the impact is way beyond just IT efficiency savings. You're talking about solving problems that directly hit revenue, that cut manual errors way down, improve customer satisfaction, supplier relationships.
All that.
It really cements your role as a key strategic player across the whole enterprise.
Yeah. So maybe we leave you with one final thought to chew on, kind of bringing it back to the start.
Okay.
The future of integration. It really isn't just about connecting point A to point B anymore. You've got that part down pretty well.
You're right.
It's about intelligently understanding and then automating everything that happens in between. All those messy, human-centric steps, the document reviews, the manual checks that used to require intervention, that's now your strategic playground.
So the challenge is, look around your own organization.
Exactly. Which of those frustrating, document-heavy, friction-filled processes, the ones everyone complains about, the ones you've maybe always wanted to fix but couldn't automate before,
Right.
which one could you tackle first with this AI-driven approach to unlock the biggest business impact? Start there. That's the journey.